Hi there, Marguerita here from the Conscious Wealth Institute with another video on helping you to unlock your greatness and your wealth. And today I'm talking about mastering your psychology. Now this is absolutely one of the most important things you will ever do to help you to achieve anything that you put your mind to. If you don't have your psychology in place, pretty much achieving what you want is really going to be an uphill battle. It's Anthony Robbins who said that your psychology is 80% of achieving anything. Now, far be it from me to argue with Anthony Robbins, but I think 80% might be a little conservative because the subconscious mind, you're probably already aware, actually determines 96 to 98% of your results. So if your subconscious mind is not on board with what you want to achieve, then it's really going to be difficult to achieve what you want. On the other hand, when you have the right psychology in place, what you want to achieve becomes almost effortless. Yes, you still have to put the work in, but seemingly like magic, things just start to line up. The right people turn up in your life, the right information, the right skills, the right circumstances just seem to roll. It doesn't mean you don't have any challenges, but overcoming them becomes like a habit. It's like clockwork. It's not this insurmountable problem that you have anymore. It's almost like when the psychology kicks in, it just becomes this effortless process that you go through to get to where you want to be. So there are, in fact, 7 very common blocks people have to achieving what they want in life. And this is where a lot of the psychology kicks in and where you have, where you're actually sabotaging yourself, unconsciously sabotaging yourself. So you seem or feel like you're doing all the right things, but things just happen to really throw you off course and stop you from achieving what you want. That's sabotaging. So the first block that we have is a fear of change. Now, I think pretty much everybody can relate to this. We all become afraid of the unknown, afraid of what's around the corner, all the what ifs. What if this happens and what if that happens? And we never know when we start on a new project or a new idea or on achieving something that we really want. We never know what's going to happen, and there is going to be change. And some people are more adverse to change than others. So this fear of change can really stop us in our tracks. It can stop us from propelling us forward. It can create procrastination and all sorts of things that stop us from taking the action that we need to take to produce the results that we want. So that's the first part of the psychology that we need to overcome. A fear of failure, I think, is also pretty self-explanatory. We are conditioned from a very early age to become afraid of failure. Nobody likes a failure. We're ridiculed if we're a failure or put down, or, there's generally nearly everybody on the planet can relate a time or a circumstance or an event when we were a kid and we were made to feel bad because we failed at something. Well, that is really unfortunate, because failure is a necessary part of the process to success. Any entrepreneur will tell you they will fail many more times than they succeed. But the thing is that the successes are so sweet when you actually get there. So failure is simply feedback. But this doesn't make sense necessarily to the subconscious mind. If it is programmed to have a fear of failure, then, you have to actually unprogram that psychology in your mind, in your subconscious mind, so you can move forward more quickly. Now, just a heads up, a fear of failure often turns up as the inability to get started on a project. So if you have great creative ideas and things that you want to do and achieve, and you just can't seem to get started on them, then it's very likely that you have a fear of failure. Okay, the next one. is a fear of success. Now, we're becoming more and more familiar with the fear of success. A few years ago, people were baffled by who would have a fear of success? That doesn't make any logical sense. But we can have a fear of success, particularly if we have experienced having some form of success in our lives and then having that being a painful experience. So maybe somebody made fun of us or made rude comments or criticized us, because quite often people feel threatened by success. It's really, really sad and unfortunate, but that's a part of our reality. It's the fact that many people feel threatened when there's another successful person in their presence because they feel like they can't achieve it or they feel small in this person's presence. So that's why they will target them with criticism and judgment and all sorts of negative stuff to actually bring them down to their level rather than try to lift themselves up to this person's level. So a fear of success can come from all different kinds of things that have happened to us, or all different kinds of verbiage and words and things that were said in our environment when we were a child. So a fear of success is a real thing for a lot of people and a part of a lot of people's psychology. A fear of loss is another big thing that holds people back. So a fear of maybe if you become successful, that you will lose what you already have in your life. So you may have to give up something that you're attached to create a new life for yourself. Or it may be that you're afraid to lose loved ones or friends or family members if you become successful, because all of a sudden you are living a different life and maybe your friends won't fit into that life, or maybe your family won't kind of be able to communicate with you, or connect with you is a better term. So maybe your family will feel less able to connect with you when you're living this new reality. And this is a real fear for people. It may be completely unwarranted, but it's a real fear that comes up for people. So a fear of loss. Now, this is another form of a fear of loss, but it's actually very specific. It's fear of losing our identity. We identify very strongly with our circumstances, with the labels that we have, with our careers, with the roles that we play within our family or within our community. So labels such as doctor, nurse, teacher, labourer, plumber, electrician, mum, dad, sister, brother, husband, wife. All these are labels that we identify with. And we also identify very strongly with our level of success. Now, if we rise above our current level of success, and particularly if we're striving for really, really big success, then we may be afraid of losing our identity. Who will we be if we're not living this current life? And the life that we have identified with for many, many years. And perhaps it's also a part of our tribal identity. So that's our family of origin. And the environment that we grew up in. We identify with that very strongly, and we will often replicate, or not often, nearly always replicate most of those circumstances. So if we choose to completely alter a set of circumstances, it actually really challenges our sense of identity. So this fear can really, really hold people back. This, I cannot stress this one enough. Self-esteem, self-confidence, self-worth, self-doubt. these are all, if your self-esteem and self-confidence and self-worth are low, it's going to be almost impossible for you to lift yourself to the infinite potential that you have, to the success that you truly desire and deserve. It's really, really important that you work on your self-worth and your self-esteem and your confidence, and eliminating all those doubts about your ability to achieve whatever you set your mind to. So self-worth and self-confidence and self-belief are some of the critical factors that are going to determine whether you're successful or whether you're not. So the final one I'm going to talk about today is toxic emotions. So things like anger, shame, guilt. We've already spoken about a lot of the fears that people have, but these other emotions are also really, really toxic. They're toxic to your mind, your body. They're toxic emotions that will absolutely hold you back from achieving what you really want to achieve. So finding what those emotions are, where they're locked in your mind and your body and perhaps your physical, not just your physical, but your spiritual essence, and release them so they can't present blocks to you moving forward is really, really important. Now, mastering your psychology, and as I said, these are 7 of the most common blocks that people have. There are other ones. Most of them do fall into these categories though. So it's really important that you work on a continual basis on this. Now, you can work on your own, absolutely. It is the slow way though. If you want to speed the process up, then I suggest that you work with somebody to help you to uncover what psychology is there that's holding you back. Because the thing about your subconscious mind is it is very, very clever. It is programmed to keep you safe. And your current set of circumstances, no matter how much this sounds illogical to you, maybe you don't feel safe at all with your current set of circumstances, but for some reason, your subconscious has helped you create these set of circumstances because for the subconscious, this is safer than the alternative. It may not be safe in the long run, but it's safer than the alternative for some reason. And it's actually finding that can be really tricky because the subconscious mind knows what you're up to and it knows that you want to change things. So it will do everything it can to continue to lock that programming away from you so you don't find it, because if you find it, you're going to change things and that's not safe. According to the subconscious mind. So when you work with somebody, it's much easier for them to reflect back to you what those fears might be and to help you uncover those fears so you can release them and they're no longer a block in your life. So that's the video for today. I hope you found it really, really helpful. And if you want, you can comment below in the comment section, and I'd love to hear from you, love to hear your thoughts and how you found this video, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care and bye for now.